All right, ladies and gentlemen, the time is a very early 10:30. Hope you had your breakfast. I haven't, but I'll take care of that once this is over. Yo, peoples. Well, let me do my intro when you see my face. Apologies for that. Much better. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here. It is very, very gloomy outside, so I had to take a desk lamp and set it over on the side so that way you guys could see me properly, because when it gets gloomy and it starts raining outside, it absolutely butchers my natural lighting in my room. So thankfully, we had a majorly bright lamp so you guys can see me just fine as we read today's brand newest chapter of Solo Leveling. Let me say that again. Yo, people's Kyushu92 here. Welcome back to yet another iteration of Solo Leveling. Let me go ahead and get my intro out there for everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. I am. I had a feeling. I had a feeling that this chapter was going to be early today. Because I had my alarm set because I got off a little bit later from work, but I had my alarm set because I had a feeling, I can't set this to 10:30 because I feel like this might come out a little bit earlier than that. And lo and behold, it came out. So, welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Just a little bit of a recap in the last chapter. Jin just basically butchered the remaining monarchs, the Frost Monarch and the Beast Monarch. And I was incorrect in saying that when Jin got back from killing the Beast Monarch, he took claws or fangs. One of you corrected me saying that it was actually the Beast Monarch's ears that he took and threw in front of the Frost Monarch. Jin basically butchered the Beast Monarch and took his ears off. That's the reason why it was kind of bloody near the base of them. They weren't teeth, they weren't claws, they were his ears. So Jin just basically massacred the Beast Monarch, and then he massacres the Frost Monarch like it's nothing at all. Once all is said and done, Jin then comes face to face with the man who was protecting him while Jin was having a heart-to-heart with Ashbourne earlier, who is none other than Jin's father, with Jin asking, "Why did you try to run away again, Dad?" So now, closure. There's a reason why I kept saying I don't want you guys to say anything about whether it's Jin's dad or not, because I wanted the closure of the chapter telling me, hey, this is Jin's dad. Even though it was obvious, I wanted the closure of knowing the chapter was confirming that for me. So that's why I was so adamant about that with you guys before. Hope it didn't, deter anybody or put any of you off. I just wanted to be absolutely sure. So, let's go ahead and get started. Chapter 166. Gate. A giant hole that calls forth demonic beasts. After clearing the dungeon boss of the gate, you must escape the gate within an hour. Oh, are we getting a flashback of Jin's dad when he went into the gate that he stayed in all these years and then came out looking like a raggedy beast man? However, I had no choice but to be trapped within the dimensional rift. See, I can't use Jin's voice for him, so it has to be deeper, but still sound the same since, father and son. After clearing the dungeon boss of the gate, you must escape the gate within an hour. However, I had no choice but to be trapped within the dimensional rift. And then it just shows his dad just sitting there, looking emancipated. Like his life is draining away just being trapped in the dimensional rift itself. The rulers lent me their strength and requested for me to stop the monarchs, including the Shadow Monarch, who was soon to be born. After losing all means of escape, I had no choice. I returned back to Earth as the ruler's emissary, with a heavy responsibility. However, I could not fulfill that responsibility. And Jin was there. Jin's father was there when Jin was killing all of these massive giants. Remember when Yuri Orlov was trying to use his gate to close the giant gate in Japan? I remember back that far. Yuri Orlov used his barrier magic powers to try and seal the gate, and then he was just absolutely murked by the giants. Yeah, Jin's father was watching Jin that entire time. And it shows Jin killing some giants. And then it shows his father kind of hesitating a little bit. And then we get more narration in some beautifully colored and drawn panels. Although I knew that the worst calamity of humanity resided in that body, I could do anything other than observe from a distance. Meanwhile, the rulers, whose sole focus was to stop the complete advent of the Shadow Monarch, started to change their stances. Oh, no, you don't. You are not going to not. You are not going to deny me these images. Because it loaded the page, but then it decided, you know what? We're not going to load everything for you to see. There we go. All right. All is well. The rulers, whose sole focus was to stop the complete advent of the Shadow Monarch, started to change their stances. And finally, the brightest fragment of light issued me a new order. Protect the Shadow Monarch. Wow, they went from trying to take down, they went from going, we want to take down all the monarchs, including the Shadow Monarch, and changed it to protect the Shadow Monarch. I wonder what brought about this change. That's a rhetorical question. Do not answer. They had realized that, in order to stop the Monarch's plans, they needed the power of the Shadow Monarch. The only ones able to stop the destruction were the soldiers of the King of Dragons, who were going to arrive before the soldiers of the heavens. It was a humble gamble, not knowing whether they would side with the humans or the monarchs. But now we know the results. That's why I helped you. I didn't want you to show this side. I didn't want to show you this side of me. And it shows his body still, reacting to, like, if he's dying and stuff, like his body's starting to crackle with light all over him. And then Jin says, Dad, did you hate me? And then Jin says, yes, sometimes. I'm sorry. When I first started out as a hunter, when I was at death's door, when I barely survived to see Mom and Jinnah again, you appeared in my mind, and I always hated you whenever it happened. But I also missed you. And then his dad's eyes widen up. What about you? And then his father looks up at him as his face starts to crackle over. Did you miss me? No. Us? And then his father just puts his hands on his head, tears in his eyes, saying, I missed you. All the time. Even though you couldn't see me, I was happy about the fact that I was able to see you from afar. And then it shows his father standing up while his body continues to crackle, like crack all over. And then he goes over and he embraces his son. You've grown well. And then Jin, tears in his eyes, just cries as his father hugs him. But it shows his father from the left side over starting to crackle and fade away. And then Jin says, is it the rulers? Are they the ones controlling you and throwing you away? And then Jin's father says, they simply gave me an opportunity to make a choice. I chose to protect you, and I don't regret a single thing about it. I wanted to talk to you more. I wanted to stay with you longer. I'm sorry that I couldn't be a great father to you. And then, wow, this is the first time Jin has seen his father in literal years. They have a little bit of a heart-to-heart, and his father just fades away. But I'm glad he got closure. As a son, it's just, As a son who still has his dad, I'm grateful that I can have moments like this. Sorry. A father and son having a heart to heart like this. Sorry, this just got me. I'm sorry. But his father fades away, and Jin is just left there standing alone as the last fragments of light just fade from his hands. And then Jin's hands clench up. And I guess this sound effect that is going over this next panel is him screaming in anguish. And then we see Jinna and her mom as they look on in the rain. And then Jin's mom says, "Jinna." And then she says, "Let's move now." Scam calls. Don't be ruined in this moment. Wow, her mom says, "Let's move now." Because beforehand, she didn't want to move anywhere. But now, she has this feeling. Like she knows what happens. Like she didn't want to move away until she knew exactly what happened to her husband. But now that she can, I don't know if she can sense this or she just has, mom's intuition or wife's intuition. And she feels like, okay, I think we can move now. I didn't want to move because I didn't know what happened to my husband, but I get the feeling that that's no longer a concern of mine. But she says, "Let's move now. I feel like we can move now." And then then Jin's mom, her eyes, she just cries as well. And then Jin screams out, "Listen up, monarchs. You will definitely pay the price for what happened today. You hear me, monarchs?" And then we have narration. "The day that the Shadow Monarch's outcries shook the world was the day when the prelude to war rose." And then we have someone overhead, a news announcement with a drone. Hey, I think I have one of these drones. It's a dollar store version of the drone, but it's a drone nonetheless. "Hunter Thomas Andre is not in a life-threatening condition. We can see that ambulances on the scene are transporting the injured to local hospitals." And then it shows numerous fire trucks and ambulances around. "Beru is nowhere to be seen. The monster that massacred the citizens has stopped moving." And it shows, I guess that's one of the ice golems that the Frost Monarch still had up, and it's starting to fade away as well since, its creator is gone. It cannot exist without it. "The monster that massacred the citizens have stopped moving. Only their traces remained after they turned to ashes." Yeah, so it's just a little bit of the ice column left. And then it shows Jin at home, embracing both Jinna and his mom. And then we have Choi Jong-in and Bayek. "President Bayek, you weren't looking so well earlier. Were you able to calm down? You should wipe the cold sweat off your forehead before talking." And mind you, they're talking in a pouring rain right now. And Choi Jong-in is just walking in a suit. Is he wearing Neo's clothes from the Matrix Revolutions? Is that the reason why he's not being affected by the rain right now? But dude's in a full-on suit in the middle of the rain. "You should wipe the cold sweat off your forehead before talking. I happen to have a mind-calming pill if you need it, but your heart isn't beating uncontrollably anymore, right?" And then we have Chairman Wu looking on, saying, "I guess it's over now. The beast-type demonic beast, the woman that attacked the city just now, and the White Walker." And then it shows a flashback when Jin was at the funeral of Go Gun Hee, saying to Wu, "I will kill him myself. I will kill the demonic beast that killed the chairmans with my own hands. You can thank me after I do that." And then Wu said, he's tearing up as well as all of his subordinates are around him. He tears up saying, "I see. So this was the White Walker. Thank you, Hunter." Because Wu, did I call him Choi Jong-in again? Wu Jinchul He was close to Go Gun Yi. Like, he had a massive amounts of respect for him, and he admired him. And he just bows his head and thanks Jin. And we get more narration. The Hunter Bureau announced that the monster that appeared inside of the city are unidentified demonic beasts. The damage done to the city by the demonic beasts was tremendous, and the gate is still oversold, just so you know. However, the true calamity was about to come in a few days. And then it just shows the gate oversold, and it shows a ton of people just outside of the gate. Then we have the 7-star from China, forget his name, Liu something, him coming in saying, "So, this is the colossal gate. It's massive like I heard. Even if all the hunters in the world gather, they could just be sucked up into that gate and vanish." And then we have Thomas Andre, who's standing there as well, saying, "It will start soon." I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Pardon me. Everyone's there. Every hunter is there right now. Wu is there. Andre's there. The Liu dude is there. Someone correct me on his name. Just his name, please. Please, because I feel like I've been saying it wrong this entire time. So please, someone just tell me his name. But Wu's there thinking, "This is the first time so many hunters from all around the world have gathered in one place. I wonder how many of them will survive." And then Jin is just standing out in the distance by himself, just looking at the gate, eyes still brimming with the full power of the Shadow Monarch. And then we have Cha Hae-in. We haven't seen Cha Hae-in since, you know, her date with Jin all that time ago. And she says, "I've never seen you this nervous before, Jinwoo." Is that so? And then Jin is just saying, "Soon, the gate will open." And then the gate starts to crackle in a massive long panel with people screaming, "It's coming! Everyone, prepare for battle!" And then something comes out of the gate. It's a big army! It's a massive army! Everyone get into position! We will exterminate the demonic beasts! And then Jin's eyes widen as he looks on thinking, "That's..." And then out of the gates come Shadow Soldier versions of rulers. Excuse me? Wait a minute. This can't be right. I thought rulers didn't have an actual body that could be taken so that they couldn't be turned into shadow soldiers, or was that monarchs? I thought the rulers were immune to that sort of thing, or since they didn't have actual bodies, they couldn't be turned into shadow soldiers. But no, I'm thinking of Ashbourne's Flashback. He had shadow soldier versions of the rulers as well. Or at least his own followers that were around him. So this is them, I guess. But it's just Big Mouth. Big Mouth there's a big giant dragon. Dragons? There's plural, there's 3. 3 giant dragons starting to come out. And they all look like they're shadow dragons. And then someone steps outside of the gate. Who is this dude? Who is this dude? Who looks like an amalgamation of every single one of Jin's commanders? He just steps out of the gate. Who is this? Ooh. Okay, remember when they said that Igris was one of the wings of the Shadow Monarch? What if this dude is the other wing? And since Jin has access to the full power of the Shadow Monarch, his entire army, not just what Jin has raised in the world he's in, but what if this is the army that the Shadow Monarch had tucked away until his full power was realized, and now they're coming to aid Jin? Now, I could be wrong. They could be coming to try and kill everybody. But if this is everyone, who is this dude? A rhetorical question. Don't answer. Do not answer. And that's the end of the chapter. The gate opens and shadow soldiers come out of it. Wow. If the chapter doesn't tell me what this is, do not tell me in the comments. I don't want to know. You will not be a help to me, and I will not appreciate you for telling me. I want the chapters themselves to explain it to me. So if you, I'm saying this beforehand, before I look at chat, if you put in the comments saying something that is spoiler-ish or spoiler any, and the chapter does not directly explain it, let me say that again. If the chapter does not explain what this is, and you put it in the chat right now, I'm gonna remove you. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. The chapters give me closure. None of you are being a help to me if you spoil what this is in chat. So now I'm going to look at chat. And if I see a single comment telling me what this is and the chapter has not told me, I hope you understand. Okay, now let me see what everyone has said. Hi, everyone. Good day. Good day to you, good day. Electrico V, Heezy, NVE, Drip Kid, Spectre Gaming, Ramil, Marcel, Johnny Hosier, Johnny's here. We Disney. That's Ashbourne's army. Ruler's army, probably. Ruler's army, shadow version. The rulers and monarchs can't be turned into shadows, but the soldiers can. Also, you can spot the difference since rulers have 6 wings, while the soldiers have 2 wings. So, I feel like this, because here's the thing. Actually, I feel like if this is the army of Black Air Force energy. Okay, so let me kind of actually retract back what I said about telling me whether this is the Shadow Army or not. I feel like the previous chapter where we saw Ashbourne's origins, that kind of showed us what this is. So let me actually retract what I said about me removing people if they told me if this was the Shadow Army or not. I feel like since we've seen the flashback of Ashbourne having numerous soldiers and monsters under his control when we saw the flashback the first time, let me retract myself. I think we've seen this already. And now we're seeing, I guess, the entirety of the Shadow Monarch's army, like the Ashbourne's army, coming through the gate. Since I guess they're responding to the full power of the Shadow Monarch coming back. Because these aren't rulers. Rulers have 6 wings, while the soldiers of Ashbourne have 4 wings. And I mean, they all look exactly like shadow soldiers, dragons, and ruler soldiers. Not the rulers themselves, but ruler soldiers. They all have been soldierified. So I guess this means that Jin has an entire army. I guess Jin has an entire army at his disposal now that just came through the gate. Those shadows are the CEO of Black Air Force Energy. They all got drip. Green light, Stardust, you ain't lying. And I'm just going off of the assumption that the one dude who comes through, who's in the most extravagant looking shadow armor, and he has like a big sword on his left side, I honestly feel like he is the left wing of the Shadow Monarch, because the Frost Monarch was saying that Igris is the right wing of the Shadow Monarch. So I'm guessing this dude must be the left wing. All in all, this was a good chapter. Now, let me say this. I actually got kind of a little bit of emotional when I was reading that whole dad section there. So I almost really teared up there, because that was a very this was a very, very emotional moment here. But I'm glad that Jin was actually, let me just say this. I'm glad that Jin was actually able to get closure with his father before he faded away. Like his job, like Jin's dad's job was to take out the monarchs. And then the directive was switched to protect the Shadow Monarch because we're going to need the Shadow Monarch for the war that's about to happen. Which puts into perspective that Jin's dad cannot be implemented in the death of Christopher Reed because Christopher Reed wasn't a monarch. No, Christopher Reed wasn't a monarch. So I'm guessing that his dad was. I mean, it's kind of. I guess I can't say that we can't pin him to that crime of Christopher Reed anymore since Jin's dad has, faded from existence. Not gonna lie, that last panel guy looks OG. The last panel was amazing. The dude stepping out of the gate is like. I don't even know how to describe it. Like this dude is coming out with he has a great sword on his hilt. Like something that should be across his back is literally on his side. He has like this big armor. He has like spiked armor on himself. He has like a big horned helm and he has his wings behind him and flame like hair behind him. And it has like a flowing robe-like fragments at the bottom of his clothes as he walks out of the gate. But there are so many ruler shadow soldiers. And this dude walks out, and Jin has not one, not two, but 3 full-on dragons coming out of this gate. And if they all go right in front of Jin and they kneel and says like, "What is your bidding, my master?" It's like, that is going to be one of the biggest flexes that Jin has ever pulled from this whole series. We need that Sephiroth theme from Final Fantasy. See, that's the thing. The dude looks... I think Christopher was an agent of the rulers like Thomas Andre was, or like in Borrow the Power of the Rulers when he does his transformation. Maybe that's why he was killed by the monarchs. See, that's the thing. Christopher Reed was not a monarch. So that means that Jin's father could not be. There's literally no evidence for Jin's father to be indicated. What is the phrase? What is the phrase? What is the phrase when you are being it's a crime phrase. What do you say when you could be there's evidence against you? Like you can't be something. It's a crime thing where it says you can't be seen as an accomplice of something. I don't know. Sephiroth's theme would be perfect for that scene. Which one? The Advent Children one, the OG one, or the one from Final Fantasy Remake? Because I feel like the Final Fantasy Remake is a good one. I guess he doesn't even need commission in the first place. Danny Moondragon. Let me just say this. When I looked at that dragon come out, I immediately thought, wait, I thought he couldn't raise commission. And he's got a dragon coming out? Then I look at the rest of the panel, and then there's another dragon. And then I look at the rest of the panel, and he has not one, not two, but 3 full-on dragons coming out of the gate! The man has dragons! Dragons! Along with ruler soldiers that can fly! And then you have this one dude who looks like who looks like a max level player in an MMO going to the starter area after fully creating his armor and getting it to the max. He looks like a dude who looks like me after getting the Fatalis armor from Monster Hunter World and then just going back to the starting 1-star missions and then just murking everything. That's exactly what the guy looks like. Nah, the Pain background sound would suit perfect for that last panel. Ooh, Pain's theme from Naruto would actually fit. Or Madara's theme when he first appeared. Either Madara's theme or Pain's theme. Either one of those themes. Or Sephiroth's theme. There's so many themes that could work with this guy, but this was a very emotional chapter, both for me And for Jin as well, his father fades away, but at least he got closure, saying that Jin's dad was there to take out all the monarchs, but after seeing his son, he couldn't do it. And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Everything changed when the rulers themselves said, okay, we changed our minds. We need you to protect the Shadow Monarch for the war that is to come. And then that is why Jin's father, after being in the gate after all this time, he was stuck in a dimensional rift and he was literally on the brink of death. The rulers found him and decided to make him their own personal emissary. And all this time, Jin's father has been watching him do all these different things, like fighting the giants in Japan, and when he defeated like the giant boss giant, he was there watching him do it all this time. And it led up to this moment where Jin is all like, I thought about you all the time, but I also hated you, but I also missed you. And then his father embraces him and then tells him, you know, actually, I gotta go back through that panel. I'm over it. The emotional side that came from it. Let me just go ahead and read through that again. Where his father says, I wanted to stay with you longer. I'm sorry that I couldn't be a great father to you. I wanted to talk to you more. I chose to protect you and I don't regret a single thing about it. That is a good way to bring closure to a father-son relationship, even if they haven't seen each other for a very long time. But after all that's said and done, his mom can pick up, like with woman's intuition, that something happened, and that they can actually move from the apartment that they've been in the entire time they've lived there. And it shows that ambulances are being brought to take care of the injured people. Now, here's the thing. Beru was only really healing Thomas Andre. Beru didn't go around and heal everybody else. He only healed Thomas Andre. And then they pretty much vacated the premises. All the Shadow Soldiers did. All of his commanders are gone for right now. But now, after all is said and done, we can now count that Go-Gun Hee has been avenged. Wu Jinchul is able to, have that closure that the killer of a person he greatly admired has met their end at the hands of Jin, because Jin promised that I will kill him myself with my own two hands. I'll kill Go-Gun Hee's assassin. I will make sure that I kill him. And just like he promised, Jin managed to bring it to fruition. It shows that there was massive destruction left behind from the Frost Monarch and the Beast Monarch, and that the remains of the ice golems that they had as they're turning to ash, they're still there, but they're no longer a threat to anyone else. And then it shows everyone gathering around the massive gate, literally hunters from all over the world. Not just hunters in Korea, but from Japan and China and America. Everybody who's anybody is there. Though Leonard Neiman is still not around. Leonard Neiman is still not around. He was denied a moment to showcase any of his power. Seriously, every time Leonard Neiman showed up, he would always be overshadowed by someone else doing something. We have yet to see this man fight fully. I don't even see Leonard Neiman around here anywhere. But we have the, actually, hold on, let me see. Did someone tell me who the name of the 7-star from China is? Did someone say his name? What is his name? That shadow in the last panel looks like he's the right-hand man of Ashbourne before in his time. See, here's the thing. That's the thing that I feel about it as well. I feel like he's the other wing that served Ashbourne. Igris is one. This guy is another. We don't know his name yet, but I look forward for the chapter to reveal it to me. I feel like the rulers can defeat the sovereigns now, since Jin killed 4 monarchs already, and there's only 3 left and 7 rulers, right? Yes. There is the one dude that was there with the Plague Monarch, and I believe the Frost Monarch that killed Christopher Reed. Then there's a one guy that says, I'll have no part. He has like this big helmet-looking armor on. He says, "I'll have no part in taking on the Shadow Monarch with you." And then we have, I guess, the Dragon Monarch, the King of Destruction. He's the only one that's left as well. So we still have that. Liu Zhigong. Thank you, Ramil. Liu. I knew it was Liu something, but the last name I could not put my finger on it. Liu Zhigong's there, and Thomas Andre is there, Cha Hae-in is there, Bayek is there, Choi Jong-in is there. Everyone who is anyone is there under the gate. Now, I thought that the Dragon of Destruction would come out, the Dragon Monarch himself would come out of the gate because that's why it's so big. But no, what comes out of the gate is not what appears to be an enemy, but it appears to be an entire army of ruler shadow soldiers coming out, along with numerous dragons. Dragons! And they're all different. Like, some have, like, horns and different parts of them that curl out from them. One looks pretty basic, and another one has massive horns as well. I'm getting massive Ghidorah vibes, even though they are not, like, three-headed dragons. They're all just coming out of the gate, and then there's just a whole bunch of ruler shadow soldiers coming out as well. And then we have this one dude come out, looking just as... He's like, he is literally covered in Ashbourne's drip. That is exactly what this dude looks like. I can't wait to find out his name. But overall, that's the end of the chapter. And we just have to look forward to the next one. So all I can say is, this was a great chapter to read. I wonder what will be the Dragon Emperor's design. I know that Cha Hae-in called Jinwoo, not Mr. Sung or Hunter Sung. That's because they've grown closer. It's no longer just like Hunter Sung or Jinwoo or Mr. Sung or Hunter Sung. Yeah, she's close enough to Jin where she can say his name now. So overall, this was a good chapter. I'm not going to keep you guys here any longer than I already have. I just want you guys to know that I immensely enjoy reading Shadow Leveling for you guys, putting my voices into it and making it as entertaining as possible. Once this story is over, I will begin the beginning of the end. Some of you have wondered when am I going to start that. I will start that after I'm done with Solo Leveling. So if you can just be patient with me just a little while, I will do that story after this one. That will be the next story that I start to cover once Solo Leveling is completely over. And I know we have a little while more before the story is over, but we're already starting to get close to the end of it itself. So I just want to say thank you. It is an immense honor and pleasure for me to entertain you guys in this manner, and I really do hope you all enjoy it. Did I read the chapter already? Yes, I actually read it. I have actually read it a while back. This stream's been up for about a good 38 minutes. Was this the real army that Byung-gu warned Cha Hae-in about? Possibly. Possibly he saw in Jin way back when he became a shadow soldier. He may have, when Min Byung-gu was a shadow soldier, he saw in Jin and says, like, please don't, he gave the warning. So he may have seen the potential in Jin that escalated to this point. Overall, these chapters are really ramping up, and I can't wait for the next one next week. But back to my outro. Thank you, everyone. It's an immense honor and pleasure to be someone that can entertain you. As long as you're entertained, that is all that I seek from any of you. So as long as you had a good time here, I did my job. I love doing this. You guys know I love doing this. What am I planning reading after Solo Leveling? The beginning of the end. It's been suggested to me that I read that story because it's also really good, so I'm going to start beginning of... Or is it the beginning after the end? The beginning after the end? Not the beginning of the end, but the beginning after the end. That's the next one I'm going to do. So once the story's over, the beginning after the end will be next. But back to it. I love doing this, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you Someone spoiled the chapter. Johnny, are you being serious right now? Are you kidding? Don't spoil the chapter for someone who hasn't read it yet. And no one spoiled the chapter. Really? Is that a joke? Are you kidding? Don't do that. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. If you're joking, haha. But if you're not, don't do that. Don't do that to all these kind people who come here to just enjoy a reaction. Don't do that. But back to it. Thank you all for coming out and seeing today's reaction to Solo Leveling. I really do. You're joking? Okay, good. Good. Don't be that guy. Please do not be that guy. No one likes to be that guy. But I just want to say I love doing this, and I look forward to every single moment I can do this for you. It's immensely fun for me, and I always have energy for it. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel, and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward. Don't worry, I took care of it. I knew it. Someone was going to be that guy and do it in the chat, so I just removed it so it's not there in chat anymore. So sorry it took me so long to take care of that. But hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. And also, if you are just now coming in on the last tail end of the stream and you're new to this, don't spoil anything for anybody in chat. We don't want to know. It's that simple. Just don't spoil. Let the chapters tell us. It's not difficult. It's not hard. Let the chapters tell us. Because if we wanted you to tell us, we would come to you. Just saying. Alright. Later, peoples. And I can't even leave yet. Luca, what's going on? Someone had a question. I saw it at the last minute, and I would be remiss if I didn't answer it. What's going on, Luca? Before I vacate the premises real quick. Why don't I read anything until Solo Leveling ends? I want to pace myself with the amount of things that I read within a week, so that way I'm not bogging myself down with too much at one given time. It lets me pace myself. That's the reason why I'm not doing, it lets me pace myself, it lets me pace myself so that I'm not stretching myself a little bit too much, because sometimes I'll have different things planned within the week. So I'm pacing myself properly so that way I don't feel like I'm expending too much energy doing one singular thing. Now, mind you, I have the energy to be able to do that, but if I pace myself, it allows me to prepare for any unforeseen circumstances that may appear within a week and make it easy for me to work through it. So that's the reason why the beginning after the end will happen after I'm done reading Solo Leveling. So that way, I not only have a ton of chapters to read for you guys, but I'll be able to reserve days for when I read the beginning after the end that time. So that's why I do it. Thanks for coming back to answer. Of course, Luca. You'd have no idea how much I would have hated seeing your question, and I'd never answered it live for you to get some closure on my answer. And then I try to put it in a comment, but it's not the same as asking a question live. So, yeah. Glad I could be of some help to you, Luca. That's why. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am out now. Now I'm gonna have some breakfast while I still got time.